Thank you, Leah, for being here. I am excited. First, I always love to talk to you. But second, I know you have so much to say, and I can't wait not only for me to hear it, but for other people to hear it. So you want to start by taking like 30 seconds and just tell people about yourself and exactly what you do.
Yes. Hi. So my name is Lia Jay. I am full-time photographer, love what I do, very passionate, a little bit crazy, heavy duty ADHD, but I've figured out how to make that work for my business. But when it comes to talking to clients and everything, it was like a little bit scary because like things were all over the place, or remembering business sides, whatever. Children, grandchildren, like my life is enriched. So there's a lot going on. There's always a lot going on. There's a lot going on, which is good.
Oh, and I love your energy, which not only do we get to see when we talk to you, but through your pictures, you are so good at capturing people's emotions, getting the energy, and I guess
Thank
one of the many reasons
you.
why you're so good at it. Take us back 3 months ago before you joined Optimize Your ADHD Brain. What were you like? What did your business look like? Your day-to-day look like? How are you feeling? Give us all the details.
So first of all, just to give you a basic example, you and I had to play email tag for 3 weeks because
I
I
don't
kept
even
missing.
remember that.
Yeah. You kept emailing me because you were doing it properly. Like you were like, oh, hi, you would never. And I totally like, I would forget to check it. I really didn't check it a lot. You know what I mean? Like it was really bad. And then finally I was like, oh my God, she wrote to me. So like, look, oh. And I went in there and I responded, and then we started finally, like I really got into it. My life was very, very, it's always in general disorganized because there's always so many things going on, which sounds like every human. But I have a very hard time holding on to anything. I blame it on just bad short-term memory. I blame it on the weather. Like, sorry, I won't remember. Sorry. Writing it down, it's just not happening. And I was almost accepting it as this is reality. And I was sad about it. Like, I have to accept the fact that there is this handicap that I cannot fix, won't fix, don't know how to fix. And I guess this is what it is. It's like there's nothing else to do. And then I met you. And I have to be very honest, there's a billion programs out there that help you ADD. And they're always like promising, like, oh, if you just do this, you will totally organize your life. I'm pretty sure if I just did half in general, I wouldn't have an issue. But that is part of the problem. I just can't remember to write everything down. I just don't always have a pad of paper with me. And this is including my phone and it's multiple lists, my list of lists. It was just hectic and all over the place. And honestly, it gets depressing. I am a small business owner and I am the owner. Like if I'm not running it, if I'm not taking care of it, it's not getting done. So this is not okay. And then I don't know if you remember, you and I were having this conversation and you brought it to a completely different avenue. You were like, well, what happens if we worked on your cognitive functioning? And I was like, what? The impression of what you said and how you said it, I was blown away. I was like,
Yeah. So just
what?
for everyone who's listening, I'm just going to explain that a little bit more. So
Okay.
remember we had that conversation and we're like, okay, you don't have to just do one thing because, right, like you said, if we just write everything down, then it'll be way easier. But we could understand why are we having this challenge? Like, why is it so hard to always follow our plans or we're forgetting all these things? And that boils down to the 28 foundational thinking skills, or like you said, the 28 cognitive functions. So as soon as you improve those thinking skills, then doing the task is easier, not because like you're just doing something else, because now your brain is thinking in a different way. So do you want to share with us the first time like you've experienced during the program something shifted because one of your thinking skills have been improved?
On the first phone call, that shifted automatically. Second, the fact that it was 28, and notice I don't even know the 28. You never sat down and said you have to memorize this. You never gave me homework. The expectations were all fine. There was no stress. There was no, I have to. I went about my day because I just knew that this mastermind was coming up. The only thing I did, and it rang this morning, which made me sad that it's over. I put in a 5-minute prior to the class because I never wanted to forget it. Like I knew. And then that was all I needed to remember. No, there was no demanding, not, well, you're not going to do well and it's not going to work. No. So right out the gate, I was like, no homework. And even like
1 second, can we go deeper on this for a second? Because there are quite a bit of people that are like, oh, these things sound scary, or like, how do I know this is going to work for me? Or like, what would you tell someone like that?
So first of all, you took all the fright and fear out of this. There's no scary. It's like, yeah, there is a fear of the unknown. How will I accomplish it as an ADHD or a neurodivergent brain, which I learned recently, and I'm actually very proud of my neurodivergent brain. We automatically assume it's like being a lefty in a righty world. You automatically assume that it's going to be fit and set up for the neurotypical, atypical brain. And we have to now figure it out and come up with a back away feature on how to make it work for us. And it's difficult. Ask any lefty. Scissors, they have to literally buy scissors left-handed or learn a new skill, which is not easy for them. That's how it was. So everything that I did, and I'm like, oh God, is this going to be boring? Is this going to be really hard? A little bit of like, okay, this is going to be weird. Then right out the gate, you get the box with the stuff in it. That left an impression on me, like, there is no prep. There is no homework. There is no stress.
So how do you get results then?
I know. That was crazy. And I'm thinking, is this going to work? And I'm not going to say anything. But the point is,
let it talk about the book Mindset by Carol Dweck. Everyone should read it. If you join the program, you get a copy of the book. But I want you to tell me, first of all, you have to say, did you actually ever read part of it?
So again, and also again, ADHD, and I also realized slight dyslexia. But I got to tell you, I'm sliding through it, and it's interesting the way she plots it. I was like blown away, like, I never considered that a mindset like the no, I can't. I've been told this. I've been yelled at. We've always been told we're wrong. Again, righties in the lefty world. We're always told we're wrong. We're doing it wrong. And meanwhile, we're just doing it slightly different, getting the same results or better results. So you know what? Screw that.
Right. At what point, like I remember, like quite early on in the program, you had like quite this aha moment or transformation of like, you don't have to stay struggled with your ADHD struggles for forever.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell us about that? Yeah.
I'm going to tell you about that. If you are used to doing something a specific way, it is always easier. You already have that brain path. You already forged that path in your brain. You literally made that line by doing it the first, second, and third time. And then after that, it becomes by rote. And now you just can do it on your own. And a lot of things we do like that. So what you were explaining is that I can actually learn new methods, not adapt my old methods to the new ways of doing things. I can figure out a way in my life to not have my ADHD affect me adversely, but instead I can work with it. And I was like, what are you talking about? No, I just still have to learn their way. We're just adjusting. And you're like, no, you can find things your own way. And I literally started crying, because I might start crying now. Such in deep childhood trauma that I am wrong. You're doing this wrong. Why can't you do it like everyone else? And the yelling. And I used to just stand there quietly and just say, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. Because people used to tell me I can't do it. And I believed them. And it was just easier for me not to be yelled at. And people are always like, oh my God, she's so quiet. Yeah, because I'm tired of being yelled at. So I'm just going to stand here like an idiot. And people thought I was an idiot. And they really did. They're like, oh, she's cute, but pat, 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 like just go off. And I was like, okay, you know what? I wasn't challenged that much. And turns out they were all wrong. And which makes me feel so good, because come on.
Right? It's the best combat.
There's a couple of teachers I'd like to go and smack in the head. Like, guess what, you? It was huge. It was heavy. It's still, I think, even saying it now, it's still like vibrating in my head, like I can do this my way and it will work. And it's not hard. What? I don't have to go to 80,000 therapy appointments. I don't have to go to the doctor. I don't need any. It doesn't hurt. And here's the craziest part. It was fun. WTF, man.
Right.
It was legit fun. I love what I do. I looked forward to this class. Oh my God, it was huge. It was huge.
That hits hard, because like you said, like it goes back so many years, and it just, you now walk through the world differently. I want you to specifically tell them the strategy about puzzling, because that is such a good one. Tell them first about like where you were before, and then how that puzzling came in to help you.
I'm really gonna trademark that word. So what is puzzling? Puzzling is, I love puzzles. I like space. That is my strength. That's my ADHD strength. But what happens when you're doing a puzzle? You never just sit down and then just do it in order. Let's first you do the frame. Then you start seeking out. And if you like to look at the cover, because some people do, I do, just a reference, and you're like looking it over and
Model, thank you very much.
you
And
model.
that's a model, right?
Okay.
You look at the model, you copy the model, another strategy for everybody
Another
listening.
strategy. Oh my God, by the way, that's a big strategy. And I used it more than I ever realized, especially at the end when I realized, why am I still having, so instead of saying, oh my God, this is making crazy, I'm like, wait, go back to the model,
These are good
recount.
strategies,
You
exactly.
look, and now I had a strategy of going back and then saying, oh, I have the answer right in front of me.
Yeah.
And then I was able to complete what I needed. It was game changer. So I go back, let's say, to the cover, puzzling. But why is puzzling? Puzzling is doing a little bit of something, allowing it to sit, even though it's incomplete, not having that OCD, like, oh my God, I got to finish it, because you can't. You need to put a bunch of things, or think about a team collaboration. You have 5 people that are doing different jobs. Until they come together and put it together for that single project, they are all puzzling their own spaces. So I would do, let's say, part of the thing, and then I said, okay, let me sit back and find the next step of the puzzle. But I was drawing it out, and then so like releasing it basically from my memory, my short-term memory. And you said, okay, that's fine, and it works great. And for somebody else, I would totally recommend that. But for you, we need to challenge you a little more. And you took my ability to do it like that and said, no, you need which is unbelievable also. You had different people in the class, and you were able to sit down and take the same exercise and still make it personalized, so that I had to have it, because I'm sure I did it differently than they did. And I'm sure that they were able to do the thing that was easiest for me. And I was not allowed to do that. And I realized at first, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. But I realized this is literally my chance to grow. So I'm going to be a big girl and pull up my big girl panties and say, I can do this. And I did. So what happened is I was developing my short-term memory, because you told me that I had to find, let's say, before I start drawing, I had to find all the shapes correctly, identify exactly where they went and how they went together cohesively. I wasn't allowed to write it down. And because of that, it forced me to go slower and really look and think about it. Look for the labels, look for the challenge, look for the way it was, have to go back to the sample, engage much more of my brain than I really was even in the beginning. I was like, I figured out a shortcut. And it wasn't beneficial to me to figure out a shortcut. It taught me, which I did not even know, how strong that was for me, how good I was at a certain thing. This actually taught me that I can actually do A, B, and C. It showed me my strengths, which, by the way, I had no idea.
That
I
is
had no
really cool. I
idea.
love it.
You helped me label what I was doing. And then now I can use it as a tool in my toolbox. This will put my business on a new level.
So crazy.
That's crazy.
That's just
Think about
awesome. I
it.
love it. I love it. Do you have any other specific examples, either in personal with your relationships at home or in business, and like how you're running things that now it's that bit easier or a bit more efficient?
Labeling. I was queen, asked my children. I would literally not speak. Now, you're telling me, like, what you told me, you don't stop talking. Correct. I don't. But if I needed something in the middle of the table and we're all at the table and I was like, I couldn't think of bread, could you pass the bread? And I would just literally point at the center of the table, like I was far from the table. So just pointing the direction of the table. And my kids, they just learned, unfortunately, she needs the bread. They wouldn't even look at me. They picked up the bread and handed it to me. They learned to speak Lealese. My friend, I think they learned to speak my crazy language, and they didn't realize that they were speaking it. But now, instead of just saying and grunting, because I wasn't able to recall, it's called bread, it's called bread. And now I'm like, okay, give it a second. Please pass the bread. And I was like, whoo, I labeled it. And again, because it's normal, nobody else is like, whatever, nobody has to stop what they're doing and said, oh my God. But I was realizing I didn't want the soda, the salt. I wanted the bread. That were all standing next to each other. And instead of getting frustrated, and instead of just getting annoyed, and instead of like, they're giving me the wrong thing, because most of the time, actually, it was half and half. Sometimes I got the bread and sometimes I got the salt. When I say, what was it? And I realized, no, I stopped myself. And even if the person's like, oh, what? No, How was the movie?
Yep.
How, not only that, I want to hear it's so disgusting. Now I'm like, no, I don't know what it was. What is it?
You're helping them improve their labeling. I love that. Go, go,
Why
go.
is this so important? Miscommunication was a huge part of my problem. Miscommunication with clients. They're like, well, didn't you say that you would charge me for A, B, and C? And I said, that was the previous discussion. Like, we did not understand each other. I thought I was saying it clearly. They thought they were understanding it clearly. They thought I understood them. And it turned out we did not. There was a lot of things. It makes me look bad. I lost a lot of money because I never wanted, like, okay, fine. I never wanted to come off looking bad. But the truth is that this wasn't efficient. It was not helpful. And
Yeah.
now I realize it's like literally it changed my life, which is crazy.
It makes me
And
so happy.
you have no idea. It's like
Oh,
I feel like I got like this like kind of like Superman, like someone ripped a lot of the kryptonite out of me, you know what I mean? Or gave me like a little bit of like this different power. Plus, I actually felt like I'm building brain paths, which keep you young and keep your brain young. That is the key to staying cognitively functioning. And I
yeah.
am so excited. Are you kidding? Now I'm like, I need to do more. I'm hungry for more because it fed my soul. It fed me. It was the first time in a very long time when I felt like I was really getting it. And yeah, oh my God. So this helped me in my daily life. It helped me in my work life. It helped me in my relationship. It helped me with, with understanding. My husband is very neurotypical, very, 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 very neurotypical. And what's shocking is how we get along. But I'm learning that he has to understand it in a certain way, and he plans a certain way. So now once in a while, I'm like, but we're going to actually try this. You're going to come with me. We're going to try. We're going to try it. We're going to try it. And he's like, why? Because I also am able to now describe exactly what we're going to see. And he was like, okay, I think we can do that. And oh my God, that never happened before. Can you imagine? You never promise it's going to help my relationship. And I would never tell someone I promise it will, but it helped me understand
Every
him.
person improves their relationships. I'm not promising it, but every person does.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Not
It's the
surprised.
same brain in your business, same brain in your home life, same brain in your relationships. So you improve in one place, it improves in every
For the
place.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is a tool that I can have forever. And you also taught me ways that I can keep reinforcing it.
Yeah.
It's very
Because it's always getting stronger.
cool.
Thank you, Leah. This was so much fun. I really appreciate you just
Oh
sharing
my
everything with
God.
us.